And welcome tonight to Smoky Valley Gymnasium, the start of home volleyball season here for the Vikings as they get their homestand started. 3 home matches this year. Tonight gets that started. Of course, the season started early on for the Vikings last 2 weekends ago as they went to the CKL opening tournament, and in that one, very successful as they end up coming away with first place. Did, however, got one loss, that being to a very solid and state-ranked Nickerson volleyball team, who they will see tonight in the late match. Then they turn their attention to the Abilene Quad last week on Thursday, and they were able to go 3-0 there as well, and were able to get the job done and sit at 8-1 now on the season. The Vikings, of course, under the coaching this year of Charlene Ramsey, and again, coming off a trip last year to the 3A state tournament where they came up just shy of first place, taking a second place finish in Hutchinson. Tonight they open the night playing against a 5A Hayes High volleyball team. First year in a while that we have played against a team from Hayes, other than TMP. And so a brand new competition for us here. A lot of years we've played against Great Bend, who is also a 5A caliber team. But this year opening with Hayes. Hayes started their season at their tournament, or at a tournament, and they come into the season 2-3. So again, Vikings sitting at 8-1, and Hayes coming in at 2-3. So should be an exciting night of volleyball. If you're joining us on live.smokyvalley.org, as there are a few there right now, we hope to give you an exciting night. Again, 5 o'clock match tonight will be Smoky Valley versus Hayes. 6 o'clock match tonight will be Hayes versus Nickerson. And then the 7 o'clock match tonight will be Smoky Valley against Nickerson. So, again, as we said before, the only loss this season is to Nickerson. Nickerson came in ranked in the top 10 in 4A. Meanwhile, the Vikings came in ranked number 1 in 3A. So that should be a good matchup. But before we get to that matchup, it is going to be a battle here against a 5A Hayes team that they have not seen before. And so first day at home, first opportunity to get the job done here in front of the home faithful. Should be interesting to see how we play and what we bring to the table. Upcoming events here as well. Tonight we've got JV football going on out at the Bethany College Stadium. We also have football this Friday. That'll be at Haven. Start time there will be 7 o'clock. Of course, the Vikings came up with a big win on last Friday against Halstead at Halstead, scoring a game-winning drive at the end of the game to pull out the victory. So, as we said tonight, volleyball here. Thanks very much to Mike Rose for putting things together and getting us rolling tonight to get started. It is time for some volleyball. Again, Hayes High comes in here with a record of 2-3. Meanwhile, the Vikings come in state-ranked number 1 in 3A, sitting at 8-1. I'll try to get names for you the best I can here as we get the night started. Obviously, Hayes being a little new to me as well. I'll do my best to try to get those names and get people down for you here as well. So, should be an exciting night of volleyball here. Glad you're able to join us and sit back, relax, have a good time. Starting lineup for tonight for Hayes, they've got number 15 out there. That is Carly Lang. Number 10, that is Aaliyah Reuter. Number 2, that is Lauren Miller. Number 16, Ashlyn Flax. Number 18, Riley Schwartz. And number 14, that is Kenzie Flax. For the Vikings, meanwhile, out there in their lineup, we've got number 4, Adrian Hazelwood. Number 30, Hope Duncan. Number 2, Maddie Toll. Number 27, Kat Blanchett. Number 14, Aubrey Boldra. And number 17, Abby Rose. Once our officials get the ball in play, we're ready to go. Again, Vikings will open with the serve here in this first match. Adrian Hazelwood ready to get things started. Hazelwood with a nice serve right down the left sideline. Good up by Hayes. Unfortunately, unable to get there was number 14. That was Flax, Kenzie Flax. She is their setter. Again, ball was a little bit tight, just couldn't quite get the hand on it. So first point goes to the Vikings. Good serve. The libero pops that one up. It's going to be a back set here. Number 10 right into the block. Again, a good attempt by Duncan and Toll there, but that was, again, looked like number 10, if I'm not mistaken, on that hit. That was, let me see again just to be sure if that was number 10 or not. Yeah, beautiful back set coming across there by number 10. That was Reuter. Nice up. Hazelwood has to attack it at the net. She was a back row attacker, though, and so that will be point to Hayes on that one. So again, point Hayes again. Hazelwood had to get really tight on the net, was unable to get the ball, and ends up tapping it over, trying in the attempt. Sometimes you can slide that one by the officials. Nice serve up by Boldra. Swing down by Kat Blanchett. Nice up by Hayes. Going to get him out of system as that ball rolls up across the net. A back row attack by number 22. Rose picks it up. Attack again, this time by Duncan. Nice up on the back row. Free ball coming across to the Vikings. Rose up. Hazelwood tries to save it. It goes over the net and falls down on the Hayes side. Point Vikings. That ties this matchup at 2-all. Again, a lot of action there as the ball goes back and forth here. Some nice ups there in the back row by the Hayes libero. Nice up there by Hayes. Outside attack by number 22. Comes off the block. They're going to call a net call there as well. Okay, net call on the Vikings on number 27. However, it was still a really nice hit. An attack by Hayes and able to put that ball down. 3-2 now, Hayes, early on here in this match. First set. 35 Liker with the serve. Rose puts it up. Hazel with a back set to Toll. Right back to the set to the libero again. Going to be a back row attack here by number 15. Up by Hazelwood. Back row attack by Duncan. Outside attack by number 22, Voth. And that ball is out of bounds, so it's 3-3. Vikings here tie it back up. Good defensive rally. The Vikings just keeping the ball in play, giving themselves an opportunity. Unforced errors, you definitely don't want a lot of those if you are Hayes or Smoky Valley, either way. Short serve there by Maddie Toll, trying to aim that right over the top of the net, and instead that ball falls into the net. Okay, so it's 4-3 now, Hayes on top. Substitution for the Vikings coming into the game, Chloe Patrick in the back row, Maddie Toll coming out. Couple of substitutions coming in for Hayes as well. It looks like number 5, Lakin Zimmerman in, and number 23, Aubrey Thomas in as well. Number 23, Thomas here with the serve. Puts a nice spot right in the middle, but a great effort by Duncan to save it. Blanchett with the attack. Off the block. Back to the Vikings side, so point Hayes. So Hayes gets a little bit of a lead here as they move out 5-3, one of the largest leads here of the contest for the Hayes High Indians. Serve up to Patrick. Patrick up to Hazelwood. Hazelwood finds Rose a little too tight to the net, and a block on that left side. Number 5 and number 22, that's Lakin Zimmerman and Ella Voth over there. Both of them are able to get the block, and that makes it 6-3 Hayes. Chloe Patrick up. It's going to be a little bit of a deep set for Hazelwood. Duncan's going to have to do a little roll shot from the back row. Back row attack on the other side from Hayes. A little off-speed play. It's going to get really tight to the net, and they are going to call Hayes over the net on that attack. That was number 22, Voth again. She goes up, attacks it, but the ball had yet to clear the net. Again, you cannot make that contact if the other team has the chance to make that play. Serving here for the Vikings is Vanderweg. Vanderweg sends it deep. Outside attack by number 5, off the block. Little free ball over the net. Vanderweg up to Hazelwood. Hazelwood back set for Rose. Rose sends it between the blockers. Nice up in the back row. Attack from the back row, the libero. That is Liker again. Outside attack from Aubrey Boldra. Up by Hayes. Block at the net by Rose. Back row set, or back attack. And they are going to call a lift here. Double hit on Hayes, and that allows the Vikings to creep a little bit closer now as we're back to 6-5. So the game of rallies so far. Both teams able to put together a couple points here or there, spread out the lead a little bit, but then catch back up. Vanderweg again with the serve. It's a deep serve, and it is going to land in. Little miscommunication on the back row by the libero Liker and also Lang. Ball falls right in between them. It's one of that tough spots. It was a really good serve on that occasion by Vanderweg, placing that ball in that deep middle. She's moving around on that back line a lot as she gets ready to serve, and she sends this one short right in front. Great effort, but it goes to the net, and Rose is on top of it. You cannot put the ball right back at Abby Rose like that without her being able to get on top of it, and she does a little wash back here to the near side and drops the ball down, and the Vikings find themselves back up on top 7-6. Another nice serve by Vanderweg. It's going to be a back set here. They're going to call it double hit here on the setter. Looking at her maybe moving the ball around a little bit as she's coming into contact with it, and that allows the Vikings to move out to a 2-point lead here at 8-6. Outside attack, number 5, right between the blocks. Nice hit by Lakin Zimmerman as she drove that right between the block on the outside of, looked like Rose and Boldra over there trying to the block, and she got that thing right to. Actually, it would have been Rose and Hazelwood over there instead. Hazelwood, of course, coming around as the setter in the front row now. So that puts us back to an 8-7 Viking advantage. Serving for Hayes, Julia Zimmerman. Right in that little dead zone there. She's able to get the ball up. Rose pounds that down. So it was a nice up in the back row by the Vikings and put it down there by Abby Rose off the assist from Hazelwood. Vikings again pull out by 2, so a 2-point lead for the Vikings. Out of the game, Boldra coming in to serve. Lenny Haig. She's going to have a chance to serve here up by 2. Sends it right down the middle to the libero Liker. Save, back row attack. Vanderweg up to Hazelwood. Duncan on the attack and right over into the block, and the ball will land. That'll be point Vikings. That's able to put them up by 3, 10-7. Vikings on top. Again, Haig, good emphasis on that serve. Able to pick it up, send it to the back row here. Vanderweg up, Rose again on a back attack, and this one's going to be down and out. Beautiful play by Abby Rose. A little curl around, a wrap around. Nice set by Adrian Hazelwood to finish that off, and that gives the Vikings their largest lead of the night at 11-7. Vikings using rallies this time. Again, this rally coming along from Avery Vanderweg earlier, Laney Haig. Earlier it was Avery Vanderweg, okay? And so this will lead to a timeout from Hayes as the Vikings go up 12-7. They were down early here, 6-3, and now have gone on a 9-1 run on the way to taking this advantage here. So 9-1 run for the Vikings after trailing 6-3. Again, this is our first set of the first match tonight. Vikings Smoky Valley versus Hayes. Next match will be Hayes versus Nickerson. Of course, Nickerson comes in state ranked top 10. I believe they were 8th or 9th. Of course, new rankings have not come out yet for this week, so these are still based on mostly the preseason rankings or the early on season rankings. Vikings, of course, coming in number 1 in 3A, Nickerson 4A. Again, Hayes comes in tonight 2-3 on the season at an early season tournament and have not played since that tournament. So Vikings are pretty fresh, sitting here at 8-1 on the season. Haig again to serve. Been doing a nice job back there. Mixing and matching where she goes. Right off the returner. That ball goes off Carly Lang, and out of bounds, and another point for the Vikings. That takes their run now to 10-1 here in this set. So again, one time trailing 6-3. Now the Vikings find themselves up 13-7. Laney Haig again to serve. Puts it right in the middle, right off the net. It was a good effort to save it by Liker. That ball made contact with the net on the way over, and it ends up coming in a little bit short. That puts you really on your toes here when you have to play that ball, especially as hard as she served it. You're expecting it, you're anticipating it, hits the net and rolls over. Hard to change that momentum. Liker gets this one up. They're going to send it to the outside. This one played over by Carly Lang, and this one's going to roll off a couple of Vikings, and they finally break the run. Again, it was a 10-1 run on behalf of the Vikings. 11-1 run on behalf of the Vikings before they finally find that broken here by Hayes. 14-8 Vikings on top. Nice serve by Ashlyn Flack. She sends that ball deep. The Vikings going to have to free ball this one back over. Set in the middle. A little bit of timing issues there. Aubrey Thomas trying to set the ball to the middle. Looked like she was going to Lakin Zimmerman on that one. Okay, and instead it drops. So again, timing is so important on these middle hits, on all these hits, being able to time it. They were going to go a little bit of a quick there, trying to catch the Smoky Valley blockers off guard a little bit. Instead it falls. Vikings find themselves up 15-8. Abby Rose to serve. Nice serve by Rose, and that's going to be an ace. Right off the libero and right over here to the scorer's table. Rose puts in her first ace of the day, and that puts her at 16-8. Rose serves this one a little bit deep. It's going to go out by about a foot, foot and a half. Again, trying to attack, and you like to see those attacks. When you're up 16-8, you can definitely go try to push the envelope, see if you can get someone deep to try to play that. The more you get behind, if you're Hayes or if you're Smoky Valley, if you're anybody, the more you feel like you've got to try to play some of those deep balls and not let a ball drop. That one, however, aiming right for the head. They got out of the way and were able to let it drop. Nice serve that time by Kenzie Flax. Up and down by Hope Duncan, and that is a point, Vikings. Dunking here from the near side, ends up squeezing that ball right between the block, and it drops, and the Vikings find themselves up 17-9. Little discussion there about rotations and whether or not people were doing what they needed to be doing. And we're back into action. Nice block on that side. There's Toll and Blanchett right there on top of that. Couldn't actually tell if they got the block or if it came off the net, but I think they did touch it and it ends up going out. So it will be a point to Hayes. So that cuts our lead here to 17-10. Kind of a tough angle there right across the net. Couldn't quite tell what the call was immediately. Instead, Hayes going to be serving. Carly Lang puts it in play. Back to Rose. Rose to Hazelwood. Hazelwood to Toll down the middle. And that ball is down and in. Just about a foot behind the 10-foot line or the hitting line. And she got on top of that one. It was a beautiful set and was able to place that exactly where she wanted. Beautiful play by Smoky Valley. Nice timing. And that puts them up 18-10. Hope Duncan to serve, the sophomore in the lineup here. Sends the ball near side. Nice up. A little tap over by number 14, Flax. Up, down by Aubrey Boulder. That ball drops, and that will be right in front of the blockers, so that will be point Vikings, and that puts them up 19-10. One more point, and they'll have them doubled up here in this first set. Duncan again to serve. Again, sends it near side deep. Play over to the middle, a little behind. That's going to be a carry. Couldn't quite decide where she wanted to go. I thought she might have had a nice set to her back there as they were curling around, but instead tried to push the ball to the other direction and get it to the middle, and it was just a little bit off, and they end up getting a lift. Duncan again to serve. Nice one right down the middle, set to the outside. Again, timing seems to be just a little bit off from Hayes, but part of that is also the position the Vikings are placing the ball in when they're serving. They're really keeping Hayes on their toes, and they're really putting them in a spot where they're not able to do exactly what they want to do here. Again, up by the libero. This time moving it back. It's going to be a free ball, however, by Reuter. Rose sends it up. Down ball here by Kat. Didn't really have the angle on that one. We talked about the timing with the Hayes plays there, and that was the same way here. Tried to send that one back. You see Hazelwood saying that was probably her bad on that one. She believes you could have put that a little bit further on for Kat, and instead that ball's off. She tried to do a down ball on it, unable to make that play. 21-11 Vikings. Liker to serve, up by Duncan. Back row attack here by Rose. Again, timing off a little bit on those last 2 points. Off speed there, couldn't quite get the contact she wanted, but Voth was able to go after it and unable to knock it down. Sorry, that was Voth, my apologies. Nice serve again. Off speed hit there, Rose picks it up, Hazelwood in the middle. Back over here to Boulder. Boulder, a little roll shot right over the top of the block and drops it just in front of the 10-foot line. And that will now put the Vikings up 23-11. Again, at one point, as Hayes is going to go ahead and take their second timeout, at one point, Hayes was up 6-3. So the Vikings currently in the midst of a 20-5 run here. They have really put it on here in the latter parts of this match, or of this set, and really turned things on. great effort here by Smoky Valley. And again, there's some timing issues, but they're working on a lot of different looks here. Some curls, some straight shots, some go to the middle, go to the backside, right side hitter. They're really moving around their shots, and some back row attacks. Hayes, on the other hand here, continuing to try to work on some things, continuing to try to get out of this little rut they're in. You know, again, volleyball is a game of momentum, and as we see us going into or wrapping up here this first set, if you're Hayes, you want to see a little bit of momentum built up. You want to turn the tables here a little bit and be able to kind of switch gears and either make a little run or a little push at the end of this set, leading into the second set, or at least try to get yourself a little bit of a couple of good plays here to kind of lead yourself into that strong second set. Toll sends it deep. Set over here on the near side. It's going to be a little roll shot. Played up by the Vikings. Outside attack to Boldra. And it is out. Looking for a touch here was Smoky Valley, but I did not see one coming off the top of it. Looked like it rolled right over the top of the block. And it's going to be just a smidge long here. So point goes to Hayes, cutting the lead to 23-12. And again, as we said, this is an opportunity for them to pick up a point or two here and feel a little bit of momentum. Even if you don't feel like you can get all of these points back, you want to try to get a few of them. Rose goes right down the line. Nobody home for Hayes on that near right corner, and it ends up being a point for Smoky Valley. Abby Rose, perfect placement as she went down the line with the ball. Nice assist by Hazelwood. Game point here for set number one. Vanderweg back into serve. She had a great run the first time she was out there, and she has a beautiful serve to get it started, and it is going to result in a point for the Vikings. So again, down 6-3 here in the opening set. The Vikings turn the tables and wrap this set up on a 22-6 run to pull this one out 25-12. Stats probably not going to be provided by me tonight. A little difficult to get both of those sets in and be able to get both things. Some great hits from Smoky Valley. Had a couple of nice attacks there by Abby Rose in that particular set. Also Boldra getting one. Of course, Maddie Toll there late in the set, able to put one down. Also Hazelwood, great job setting here in this first set, able to maneuver the ball around to a number of different players and continue the attack the best she could. So we'll get ready for the second game here in just a minute. I'll rejoin you here in about a minute and a half to get that one rolling. And welcome back as we get ready for set number two here tonight. Again, this is the first match of the night of three matches. First match finding Smoky Valley against Hayes. Again, 3A opponent, or 3A Smoky Valley against 5A Hayes. Hayes comes into the match 2 and 3. Vikings come in 8 and 1, ranked number 1 in Class 3A. Then the second match of the night will pit Hayes against Nickerson. Nickerson ranked top 10 in 4A. And then the nightcap, coming in around 7, unless the matches wrap up a little bit earlier, will be Smoky Valley against Nickerson. Those two teams have met each other twice already this season, both of those at the initial CKL tournament. Vikings lost the first one of those and then was able to recapture the second one, actually the championship game of the night, to take the championship of the CKL tournament. We are ready for set number 2. Again, the results of set number 1, Smoky Valley wins 25-12 in set 1. So they have one more set to wrap this up. Hayes needs to get this set to try to force it to a third set on the night. Kenzie Flax will get us going tonight for Hayes here in the second set. She serves to the back row off Vanderweg. Back row attack here by Rose. She sends a little wide, that ball out. That will be point early for Hayes. And again, Hayes got off to an early start here in the first set before Smoky Valley really started clicking on all cylinders. And so it'll be important if Hayes does get a little bit of momentum early that they need to try to continue that momentum. Again, Flax with the serve. Vanderweg up to Hazelwood. Hazelwood over here to Duncan off the block. Picked up in the back row by Liker. She sends it outside 15 with a roll shot. That's Carly Lang up by Rose. A little drop by Hazelwood. Back row attack here backside attack here on the near side. That's Reuter, blocked in the middle there by Toll, and that will be point for the Vikings, and that'll tie us up 1-all here. Again, they sent it back here to a backside attack or a right side attack, and right on top of that was Toll to get the block and drop it down. Hazelwood here serving for Smoky Valley. Nice up middle attack, and all over that attack was Maddie Toll. They tried for a quick in the middle to Reuter. Maddie Toll ate that one up, drops it right back on top of the dig, and that'll be point for Smoky Valley. They go up 2-1. Hazelwood again on the serve, Liker up. Outside attack, this one by Miller, picked up beautifully in the back row by Boldra, saved by Rose. Boldra gonna try to attempt to get it over. She does play it over. And the ball goes back over by Flax. Duncan reads it and she drives it home. Beautiful play there by the Vikings. Boldra getting that started by a deep shot that just barely goes over the net. Picked up on this side by Kenzie Flax. Unfortunately, her ball went right back over to Hope Duncan, and she was able to drive it home down the left line. Serve up here by Hazelwood. Pushing the ball back outside. Going to be a little tip shot picked up by Hazelwood. Rose going to send it over to Duncan just beyond the 10-foot line, and that ball is going to drop out of bounds. And that gets Hayes back on the board as they cut the lead back to 3-2. Checking in, we got Voth here for the Hayes High Indians. Serving for the Indians now will be Carly Lang. Lang's going to send that ball right down the middle to Rose. Hazelwood hustling over, back row attack by Boldra into the net, and that will tie us back up at 3-all. We were 3-all early in the set, in set one, before Hayes ended up moving out to a 6-3 lead, only to lose that lead down the stretch to the Vikings. This one's going to come up short. Again, Carly Lang not able to send that one over, and a service error there for the Hayes High Indians. Hope Duncan back to serve for the Vikings. She sends the ball to the near corner, and that's not played up very successfully there. Didn't get her hands up very quick. Ball ends up coming off a Reuter. Good attempt in the back row by Lang, trying to second that one up. But a great attack right at the mid part of the body. Kind of a tough spot to go after. Can't really stay down. Have a hard time getting the hands up. She again goes to that same area. This time, ball played up well by Reuter, and they're going to call a double hit there on the setter. Not pleased with how she was able to do that. The official calls the double hit or the carry on that, and that's going to go back to Vikings. So again, last match or last set, 6-3, Hayes got up on top. This set, the Vikings get up on top 6-3, and then Duncan sends the ball into the net. Again, an unforced error by the Smoky Valley Vikings and the service error. That's a service error each now for both teams. Those are big points you don't want to leave on the table later in a match. Liker, the libero, back to serve. She sends the ball deep corner to Duncan, who plays it up. Hazelwood to the near side here. Boulder right off the block, and she drops it down. The Smoky Valley hitters have done a nice job attacking the blocks. They've been able to go off the edges of them. They've also been able to go through the middle of them periodically. That one looked like it came off right off the edge. They did not have a player there to back it up as well. Told to serve here. She sent one in the net earlier in set one. This time a beautiful play, but a nice hit coming back from Hayes. Serve was in, looked good. This one comes right off the top. Maddie, of course, pulled up tight there, ready to make that play because it looked like it wasn't going to be a great attack since it was a back row attack. Ball was a little high, rolls off her fingers, and that will be point to Hayes. Couple of questions here about substitution patterns and whether or not we're substituting the right people into the match or not. Vikings, meanwhile, looking to try to sub here, but they are doing some looking here about libero and who's gone in and who's gone out. So again, we are in the second set of the first match of the night. This match, of course, between Hayes and Smoky Valley. Stay tuned as we have more matches here on the evening. Of course, Hayes going to be taking on Nickerson here in the second match. And then, of course, Nickerson and Smoky Valley, a matchup of two state-ranked teams in the last match of the night here from Smoky Valley High School Gymnasium. Again, just reminding you, there is JV football going on tonight out at Bethany College Stadium. Also, we have football on Friday as Smoky Valley will travel to Haven to be pitted up against the Haven Wildcats. Of course, Smoky Valley's boys football team winning on Tuesday, or winning last Friday over Halstead on a comeback victory late in the game. Middle school will be on the road this week as well on Thursday, as both volleyball and football will travel to Lyons to play there as well. So again, we're sitting at 7-5 Smoky Valley here in this second set of the first match. Some questions about rotations of the libero here and who went in for whom, and trying to make the decision of what those possibilities could be. Again, once the libero goes out or once the libero comes in for a player, only that other player can come back in for that libero unless they make a substitution pattern there. So they're trying to make the decision whether or not that actually happened correctly, or whether or not Vikings may have been in error of that as far as how they need to make the adjustments later. Again, libero can come in and play the back row. They can come in on different sets of rotations. They can just only serve in one of those rotations, or one of those 6 times they might be out on the floor. They cannot change that location there as well. This is always one of the things about volleyball. There are very intricate rules here about who can come in for whom and positioning on the floor, and you can't overlap one another before play. You can move around once play starts into different positions, which is why you'll oftentimes see your outside hitter start in one location and end up after one service back on the other side, because you want to place your best middles in the middle, your best outside hitters on the outside, and your best right side hitters on the right side. So they try to manipulate all of those things around. So again, not sure if we're going to have any major changes here, or if they're going to have an illegal substitution pattern here. Haven't quite made that decision. I haven't seen them do anything score-wise to change anything there. We are going to have a sub here for the Vikings. Chloe Patrick, of course, coming back in for Maddie Toll, and we'll get back into play. So again, a lot of rules, a lot of those things there that you have to watch out for, and sometimes, and a lot of times it could be a coaching error, it could be a player error, it could be a housekeeping error at some points in time too, whether those from the officiating crew. We have a great crew here tonight. I've had them officiate a lot of matches when I coached volleyball as well. They do a really great job, so it's really hard to say exactly what happened there for sure. But either way you look at it, Hayes will be back to serve, trailing by 2. Serve placed over that time by Thomas. Outside hit from Abby Rose. Nice play up in the back row by Liker. She's also going to send that ball over. Chloe Patrick up to Hazelwood. Back row, or back set to Kat Blanchett. She is able to save it off the block. Hayes going to play it back out to the outside. That attack by Voth, and that is going to be a point for Smoky Valley. Great effort play that time. Nice rally by both teams there. That ball ends up coming off of the tape there, so it ended up being 4 hits. Vanderweg to serve. Played up nicely there on Hayes' side. Outside attack by number 5. That's Lakin Zimmerman. Played up nicely. Mid attack by Boulder. They're going to end up calling the 2 hits over there on Adrian Hazelwood. Been very consistent with that call tonight on both sides of the ball, whether it's been on Hayes or Smoky Valley. If they feel like that ball shifts on that setter's hands at all, they've called the double hit, and that was one of those. Didn't feel like she had a nice, clean contact. And again, every official is a little bit different on that call, so it just kind of depends upon how they're going to call that. Nice serve this time by Ashlyn Flax, played up in that back row. It's going to end up being an attack by Vanderweg, and it's going to be about a foot out, and that will tighten this lead up. Again, Smoky Valley in the lead, but only up 8-7 here in the early going of the second set here of the first match of the night. Service again, deep serve. Patrick's going to end up playing it up. Hazelwood saves it. Had to turn the ball just a little bit trying to get the ball to Boldra, but instead she sends that ball into the net. And so nice serving here. A couple of great serves in a row by Ashlyn Flax, the lefty, bringing it here and sending it deep. Another deep serve to Patrick. Hazelwood, and they're going to call another double. Nice run here by Hayes, and ever since we've had that little spell where we had to make a decision on what was happening, the Vikings have not responded nearly as well to that after that took place. So again, nice run here by Hayes, and they find themselves up 9-8 here. So a little turn of events here since a little break in the action due to some clerical errors or positioning errors, and so the Vikings find themselves now trailing here 9-8 in the second set. Of course, first set of the night, the Vikings get the job done 25-12. Okay, taking a nice run late in the match after trailing 6-3. They end up finishing that match off on a 22-6 run. And so they were able to finish that one off. They find themselves behind only for the second time really in this second set, as they were down early here as Hayes got the first initial points. Now they find themselves down 9-8. Again, Hayes continuing to serve. The server continues to be Ashlyn Flax. The lefty keeps bringing it to a beautiful location. Drops that one in here to Duncan. Duncan to Hazelwood. Hazelwood rose off the block and out of bounds, and the Vikings get a side out and make the score 9-all. Lainey Haig will sub back in for Boldra, and Haig will go back to serve for Smoky Valley. She had a couple of great serving rotations the last time through. Was able to drop a lot of points during that initial run for Smoky Valley. This one played back. Outside attack by number 15, Lang. Nice up. Drop by Duncan just off the block. Nice save by Liker. Ball's played back over by Hayes High. Haig puts it up to Hazelwood. Hazelwood to Rose. Rose brings it across the court for the finish. Nice assist, but also a good play in the back row to pop that ball up and keep it alive. Lainey Haig, again, doing a nice job on her serve and really put him in a tough spot. Might have been a lift back there. She sends that ball really deep. Again, this one played up. It's going to get him out of system a little bit. Liker's going to have to send it from the back row. Vanderweg up. Duncan off the top of the block, and another point for Smoky Valley, another kill. That makes it 11-9 Vikings here about midway through this second set. Again, we want to thank Mike Rose for putting together the live stream tonight. Again, all three matches tonight will be live streamed, so make sure you join us for all three of those. Ball sent back to Liker off a tough one. Oh, it was a tough play there, a really bang play. Ball ends up coming off of Haig on the serve. Really just kind of a sporadic play on the back row by Hayes High. Liker ends up getting it up in the air, a one-arm save, and then sends it right off the side hand of Abby Rose, and Rose couldn't quite make the play on the ball, and that gave Hayes the point. Meanwhile, Hayes goes back to serve here, and a service error right into the net will send the ball directly back to Smoky Valley, and so they find themselves back up again, 12-10. This is about the point in the match, a little bit earlier than that Smoky Valley got their run going here in the first set. This time Rose sends it over. Nice up and a cross shot here by Zimmerman. Unfortunately, it goes a little wide. She brought the ball from the near side, sending it across to the far side, trying to aim for the immortal Jay Myers across the way, and instead the ball goes a little wide and out of bounds. Rose again trying to attack right over the net this time, and it goes into the net. Earlier in the first match, or first set, she sent the ball deep trying to attack. This time she tried to go for that short one right over the net and ends up putting the ball in the net. So a service error for Smoky Valley, and that brings the score to 13-11. Kinsey Flax back to serve for Hayes, sends the ball on a little knuckler back to Avery Vanderweg. A little attack, a joust at the net, and jousted well by Hayes as they were all over the top of that as Hazelwood attempted to go up and make the play for the set. The ball did cross that midsection, so you are able to go challenge that. Hazelwood tried to do that, but she just was unable to do so. Flax again on her second serve here, leaves it short, and another service error by Hayes. And again, when you're the team that's behind, service errors really can come back to bite you. And again, Hayes needs every one of these points to try to tighten the Vikings up here as the match continues. Hazelwood back to serve. She sends it over nicely. Nice up by Hayes. Cross play right there by Reuter. Beautiful back set and a nice send. Drops it right down there in the back corner, and that cuts the lead back to 1. So hats off to Hayes. We mentioned the fact that they really needed to have a little bit of momentum at the end of that first set, and they did have a point or two there to finish off, but I really think it was that little lull in the action here in this second set that's brought them back in the game. Nice attack there by Duncan. The ball's going to be played close to the net, and just close enough that made that difficult. It's a beautiful play. They ended up being a little too close, tried to play it up. Maddie Toll was right there at the net to be able to joust that back around, and unfortunately for Hayes, they were unable to make the play coming back. Served by Duncan, leaves that one short, sent to the net. Going to be an off-speed hit there coming by Reuter. Nice save. Rose is going to set up Duncan from the back row attack. Nice up on the back row by Lang. Outside attack by Voth. Voth plays it down the line off of Rose, and that'll be point for Hayes. 15-14, Smoky Valley on top. Again, back and forth this particular set. The first set won by Smoky Valley 25-12 after a big, huge run to finish the match, or to finish the set of that one. Liker to serve, floater up the Rose, Rose to Hazelwood. Hazelwood gonna back set Toll. Liker up again. Flax gonna send it over here to Schwartz. Schwartz sends a nice one deep. Rose saves it, and Hazelwood is unable to send it over the net, and that puts us back into a tie game. 15 all here. A lot of times we talk about when you get to this point in the match, the first team to 20 seems to have a little bit of an advantage, so both teams going to jockey some position here to try to take the lead in the latter parts of this game. Hazelwood going to back set Toll. Toll drives that one straight down. Maddie does such a great job getting on top of the ball and really able to put it down tight, and this really difficult position for Hayes to be in. If your front two blockers cannot get contact on that ball, you've got to keep everybody else deep for those really strong shots that Maddie puts down. That time she drove it right in between. Told to serve off Liker. Ball sent outside here to number 22 Voth. Picked up on the back row by Duncan. Kat Blanchett sends it across. Nice up by Flax. Liker outside again, this time Voth. Again Duncan. Outside here to Boulder. Boulder off the block. Picked up by Liker. Going to be a near side attack here from Schwartz. Brought up by Toll. Middle Abby Rose, and you're not going to get away with that one. Beautiful set right there in the middle, and Rose puts it down just about a foot or two past the 10-foot line, and that'll put the Smoky Valley Vikings back on top 17-15. Toll back to serve again. Right over the net. Nice up this time by Lang. Lang will be the beneficiary of the set back there as well. Up by Duncan. Back row attack on a down ball here by Toll. Flax. Ooh, nice play by Hayes. A little bit tight on the net. Flax was able to set it up. Looked to me like maybe that was number 18 there. I think it was Schwartz that was able to come on the back side here. Really tight set. Actually, it was number 14. Yeah, it was Flax. Excuse me, it was Kenzie Flax that set that up. And on the back side here, it was Riley Schwartz who was able to put it down and just dropped it right down on top of the V here for the Vikings. Tough spot, tight to the net, well played. 17-16 now, Smoky Valley on top. Aubrey Thomas with the serve. Nice little mustard on that serve. Kat Blanchett off the block on the backside, and that ball squeezed its way through. That was one of those you were able to just barely get it off the block. The block slowed the ball enough that none of the Hayes Eye Indians could quite make it there, and that'll be point for Smoky Valley. And again, they pushed that lead to 2 here in the later stages. Vanderweg to serve. Outside attack. That's going to be Lakin Zimmerman, and she is going to send that ball out. Deep corner. We'd like to thank our line judges tonight, Kevin Steiner and Kelsey Sims tonight, doing a nice job line judging for us. We see that call over there, well made. Nice serve by Vanderweg again. Back set this time, right into the block. Ella Voth that time sends it right into the double block, rolls down the hands. The Vikings were unable to pick it up, and we're back to within 2 again. Julia Zimmerman to serve here for Hayes as they attempt to cut into this Viking lead. She sends the ball near side. Hope Duncan, beautiful pass over to Hazelwood. And Abby Rose, just a little wash, drop shot right in that little coffin corner. And she drops it in there beautifully. And that's going to be a 20-17 lead now for Smoky Valley. First team to 20. Let's see if the Vikings can finish it off. Lainey Haig back into the game again as well. Lainey to serve. Again, nice plot to the corner, hitting it to the 1 spot. Back row attack here. And it's going to go outside the antenna. Actually made contact with the antenna, so that will be out. And that puts Smoky Valley up 21-17 here in the second set. Hayes High will use their first timeout of the set. And again, first set tonight won by Smoky Valley 25-12. Now they find themselves up 21-17 here in set 2. 4 points away from finishing this off in 2, and anytime you have an opportunity to finish a team off in 2, you want to try to get that job done. Don't want to allow a match to go to the third set. Makes it really difficult and makes it anyone's game as well, and so you certainly want to take advantage of it. Smoky Valley has done a nice job passing tonight. I think they've done a great job putting the ball where they want to have it. Again, you're going to have a few of those that give you a little out of system depending upon what the other team does, but for the most part, I thought they've put the ball to the setter extremely well. This is a pretty experienced Viking team. They lost some very talented players off of last year's team, but they had a number of players waiting in the wings that were ready to go and ready to play, and they've really stepped into their roles nicely this season. I think they're feeding a lot off of that success from last season as well, and really feeling a lot of confidence. And one of the big things that Coach has talked about with this squad has been their chemistry and how well they've really come along early in the season. Lainey Haig to serve. She's going to send this one deep, and it's going to be a little too deep. About a good 3 or 4 feet out of bounds by Lainey. Definitely eating her Wheaties on that one and sending the ball deep. And that's going to put it back to a 3-point game here. Hayes serving. Riley Schwartz back to serve. She's going to send the ball close near corner up to Hazelwood. Hazelwood to Rose. Rose sends it. That ball's going to be out of bounds. Okay, tried to send it across there and not able to keep it in. We're back to a 2-point game again. Again, Riley Schwartz back to serve, sends it to Chloe Patrick. Hazelwood sends it near side here to Hope Duncan, and Hope goes right off of that. Right off the dig, sends it into the crowd, and point Vikings. They move back up ahead by 3 points away from wrapping this match up here in the first match of the night. Abby Rose serving near side here. She's going to send the ball across. Nice up by Liker. A little mid-quick. They're going to call the Vikings in the net. Looks like Maddie Toll was a little too close to the net there in the attempt to block, and they're going to catch her for it right in that net. So that's going to be point for Hayes. And we're back to a 2-point game, 22-20. Nice quick by Hayes. They really tried to catch Smoky Valley off guard there by getting a little low, quick set and bringing her up as quick as they could. And it does catch them off guard a little bit as Toll went after the block and was unable to get to it. Nice up back row by Vanderweg, sends it over here. Duncan, it's going to be off the block, and it's going to be a point for the Vikings, moving the score to 23-20. Avery was able to put it up to Hazelwood. Hazelwood over here to Duncan, and they drop it right on the line in the deep corner, but it was a touch either way, so it would have been good either way. Hazelwood serving. Nice up there by Hayes. Going to get a free ball over. Hazelwood, this is an opportunity. Maddie Toll in the middle. Ends up putting it off the block, dropping the ball right inside there, and that's going to be another point. This brings us to match point for Smoky Valley. Hazelwood serving for the match. An opportunity for the Vikings to get the first W of the night. It's going to send it over to the far side. Dropping that down is going to be Reuter. Reuter sends it off of Hazelwood. Rose can't get there in time, and that'll be a point for Hayes. Hats off to Hayes again, hanging around in this match, cutting it 24-21 now. This is one of those points where you look back on some of those unforced errors on your serves earlier in the match, and you wish you had a few of those back. Going to be important here. Serving Lang, Carly Lang, sends it to Boldra. Boldra tight for Hazelwood. She has to send it back. That one's going to drop. Vikings didn't communicate really well on that play, and that's going to make it 24-22. Again, that ball ended up going really tight to the net. Hazelwood did everything she can to try to bring it back out, and nobody was around to play the next ball. Sends it deep this time to Rose. Rose to Hazelwood, in the middle to Toll. Little drop shot, picked up nicely by Reuter. Outside attack for Voth, and she's going to drop it right over the block and right in that midsection. So Smoky Valley tightening up just a little bit. Hayes getting a little bit of momentum as they cut the lead to 1, 24-23 here late in this second set. Timeout called here by Smoky Valley, trying to break the momentum a little bit. Hayes breaks that timeout quickly. Of course, they've got the momentum, so they want to get right back out in the court, and they want to be ready to serve. They want to go right after the Vikings. Smoky Valley's in a great position here. They have the chance to get a kill for the win. Just got to start it with this first pass, get it right to the center, and give themselves an opportunity where they want to go. Another nice serve. Boldra a little deep. Hazelwood sends it off, and it's going to be a double hit again. And this brings us back to a tie ball game, 24-all here late. And of course, volleyball rules, you have to win by 2. So the first team to get up by 2 here in this late going is going to get the dub. Hayes, of course, momentum them. They just have to keep from serving the ball in the net. Rose sends it up, back set by Hazelwood, off the block. Hope Duncan goes off the block, ball heads over to the far side, and that's going to put the Vikings back up by 1. This will be their second match point of this set. Opportunity here for Duncan to either drop an ace or give him an opportunity to play it out. Ball played up nicely on the box, sent over on the outside to number 22, Voth, played up in the back row by Duncan, and they're going to call the double again on Hazelwood. We are back to a 25-all tie. So the Vikings have had 2 opportunities to be able to finish this match off. 2 match points, unable to get either one of them. Like her to serve here for Hayes. She sends it deep corner to Duncan. Hazelwood back sets to Toll. Toll drops it right in front of the libero. She's able to pop it up, like her, but she pops it up a little too close to the net, and that's going to be another point for Smoky Valley. Both teams, both Hayes and Smoky Valley, have 1 timeout left. And Hayes is going to use it right here to try to break that momentum. So 26-25 Smoky Valley, timeout on the floor as Hayes just wants to try to break the momentum with this play. They were able to break the second match point just a second ago, but a beautiful drop shot right in there, right in front of the libero, Liker. All sorts of effort on her behalf to get to the ball, just sent a little too close to the net, and they were unable to peel that ball back out of there. Meanwhile, here for Smoky Valley, an opportunity for Maddie Toll, the senior, for a chance to get this win here and get the first home win of the season for the Vikings. Served by Toll, going to send it deep middle to Liker. Liker plays that up. Kenzie Flax sends a little shot deep. Liker again going to make the play here. Ball sent outside to Voth. Voth into the block. Nice save by Hazelwood. Hazelwood's going to be able to send it over off of Abby Rose. Liker plays it back up. Flax off the block. Flax sent it back to Schwartz. Schwartz ends up playing it just off the outside block. What a rally point, though. Great effort by Smoky Valley to keep the ball alive on their side. Phenomenal job as Hazelwood was able to get the ball back up. Rose able to send it over, or actually Rose able to keep the ball up and allow Hazelwood the chance to send the ball back over and give the Vikings an opportunity. But again, Hayes High really battling here in this second set. They're making the plays they have to make. Aubrey Thomas, meanwhile, back to serve for Hayes now as they're back into a tie. She sends the ball deep to Duncan. Beautiful pass to Hazelwood, right in the middle to Rose, and Rose drives it home. She sends it right around the block and is able to drop it in. And the Vikings again, the 4th time tonight, the Vikings are going to have match point with an opportunity to seal the deal here. And this time it's going to be Avery Vanderweg back there with an opportunity to finish it off. Vanderweg right down the middle. Ball's played up by Carly Lang. Ball sent to the outside, off the block, and it's going to be down. Rose and Hazelwood were there. Tight pass, tight play. Hayes again, hats off. They really played a phenomenal second set after struggling out of the get-go here in that first set. Battled, competed, so losing the first one 25-12 and able to battle back in that second one to really make a match of it 28-26. So again, Smoky Valley wins the first match of the night here against Hayes 25-12, 28-26. Second match of the night will be Nickerson versus Hayes, and then our third match of the night will be Nickerson versus Smoky Valley. Again, both two state-ranked teams going at each other in the late match. Remember, if you wanted to hang around for the second match of the night, you'll have to switch live streams to the next live stream on the Smoky Valley Live page. So please make sure you head over there here in a few minutes, and I'll catch up with you later.
Good. Yeah, good. Okay. I'm glad that you enjoy it. Good deal. Yeah, we want to thank Doug Schneider. There we go. Look at these off there. We want to thank Doug Schneider for calling that game, that match. We are going to switch back over to the other live stream at live.smokyvalley.org. Looks like Nickerson will get about a 20-minute warm-up, so be checking back here in about 15 minutes at live.smokyvalley.org. We'll get that live stream going. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in.